So we do respect the brands. We respect the fan bases of the brands, but there is no taboo.
For the past few weeks, a single rumor has been spreading across dealer networks, investor calls, and online truck forums, and it's rattling the American auto industry. People are asking the same question in different ways. Is Ram dying? Not rebranding, not downsizing, but quietly being pushed toward irrelevance. No press conference, no dramatic announcement, just a growing sense that something fundamental has shifted. At first glance, the idea sounds absurd. Ram is one of the most recognizable truck brands in America. It sells hundreds of thousands of vehicles every year. It competes head-to-head with Ford and Chevrolet in one of the most profitable segments in the entire industry. Brands like that don't just disappear overnight, and yet when you look closer, the warning signs are hard to ignore. Ram trucks are sitting longer on dealer lots. Prices have surged far beyond what many core buyers can afford. Promised electric models have been delayed again and again, and behind it all is Stellantis, the global auto giant that now controls Ram, making a series of cost-cutting and strategic decisions that have left many wondering whether the brand is still a priority at all. This isn't a story about an official shutdown. It's more unsettling than that. It's about how major automotive brands can be weakened slowly through pricing decisions, delayed investments, and shifting corporate priorities until they no longer resemble the powerhouse they once were. In today's auto industry, collapse doesn't always come with factory gates slamming shut. Sometimes it happens quietly, in plain sight. And to understand why Ram suddenly feels so vulnerable, we have to start with one uncomfortable truth. For years, Ram wasn't just another Stellantis brand. It was the brand holding everything else together. Real quick, if you're into videos that cut through the noise and break things down clearly, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more people find this. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's a good time. We've got more deep dives coming your way. Also, drop a comment and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your take. Now onto the video. Within Stellantis' massive global portfolio, Ram has played a role far larger than its badge suggests. While Stellantis owns brands across Europe, Asia, and North America, Ram has been one of the company's most reliable profit engines, especially in the United States. Trucks generate higher margins than sedans. Full-size pickups, in particular, have long been the financial backbone of American automakers. And for Stellantis, Ram was carrying a disproportionate share of that load. After the merger that formed Stellantis, many legacy brands struggled to find momentum. Chrysler was reduced to a shrinking lineup. Fiat continued to fade from relevance in the US market. Even Dodge, once a symbol of bold American performance, entered a period of identity confusion. Through all of that, Ram kept delivering. Strong sales volumes, loyal buyers, and some of the highest per-vehicle profits in Stellantis' North American operations. In effect, Ram was subsidizing weakness elsewhere. Its success helped offset underperforming brands and gave Stellantis breathing room as it navigated global restructuring, supply chain disruptions, and the costly transition toward electrification. That made Ram not just important, but essential. However, that reliance came with risk. When a company leans too heavily on one brand for profitability, any disruption to that brand sends shockwaves through the entire organization. And over time, those pressures began to show. Stellantis faced rising material costs, labor challenges, and growing competition from both legacy rivals and newer electric entrants. At the same time, leadership adopted an aggressive margin-first philosophy, prioritizing profitability per vehicle over raw sales volume. That strategy pushed Ram into a dangerous position. Prices climbed rapidly. Entry-level buyers were squeezed out. Volume began to soften, and while Ram was still selling trucks, the brand's role shifted from growth engine to pressure valve. The very success that once protected Ram now placed it under a microscope, as executives asked a troubling question: how much more can this brand be pushed? And that question set the stage for everything that followed. For decades, Ram's success rested on a simple promise: tough, capable trucks at prices that made sense for working Americans. Contractors, tradespeople, farmers, and fleet buyers didn't just choose Ram for horsepower or styling, they chose it because the value equation worked. That equation has now been flipped on its head. Over the past few years, Ram's pricing has surged aggressively. Well-equipped Ram 1500 models began pushing into territory once reserved for luxury vehicles. Heavy-duty trims crossed thresholds that shocked even long-time loyalists. In many markets, buyers found themselves staring at price tags north of $80,000, and in some cases approaching six figures once dealer markups were added. This wasn't happening in a vacuum. Stellantis leadership openly embraced a margin over volume philosophy, aiming to sell fewer vehicles at higher profits. On paper, it looked smart. In reality, it collided directly with Ram's buyer base. Unlike luxury brands, Ram depends on customers who view trucks as tools, not status symbols. When those customers feel priced out, they don't upgrade, they walk away. Dealers began reporting slower turnover. Inventory started lingering longer than expected. Incentives quietly returned, undermining the very pricing strategy meant to boost margins. Meanwhile, competitors took a different approach. Ford and GM raised prices too, but more cautiously, maintaining accessible trims to keep volume flowing. Ram's pricing leap was sharper and its consequences more immediate. What made the situation worse was perception. Even buyers who could afford the trucks began questioning value. When prices rise faster than visible innovation, trust erodes. The feeling spread that Ram was no longer built for its traditional audience, but on top of them, and just as pricing pressure started cracking loyalty, another problem emerged, one that threatened Ram's future relevance altogether. Because while prices were climbing, the rest of the industry was racing towards something Ram didn't yet have. In today's truck market, electrification isn't optional, it's a signal of future relevance. Ford understood that early. GM followed quickly. Even startups like Rivian captured mindshare by promising something new. Ram, by contrast, found itself talking about the future while struggling to deliver it. The Ram Revoirs was supposed to change everything. It was positioned as the brand's electric answer to the Ford F-150 Lightning and Tesla's Cybertruck. Early previews generated excitement. Promises were made about range, capability, and innovation, but timelines slipped, launch dates moved, communication became vague, and as delays stacked up, momentum evaporated. In the EV transition, delays are more damaging than outright failure. Consumers don't wait patiently, they move on. Fleet buyers plan years ahead. Investors track commitment signals closely. Each missed milestone quietly chips away at confidence, not just in a model, but in the brand behind it. Meanwhile, competitors surged forward. Ford refined its electric truck strategy. GM expanded Ultium-based offerings. Tesla dominated headlines, regardless of controversy. Ram, once known for boldness, suddenly looked hesitant. And in a segment where perception matters almost as much as performance, hesitation is costly. The irony is that Ram's identity made electrification harder, but also more necessary. Power, torque, and towing are areas where electric drivetrains actually shine, yet Stellantis appeared unwilling to absorb the massive upfront costs required to catch up quickly. Battery sourcing, factory retooling, and software development demanded investments that leadership seemed reluctant to prioritize for Ram. This left the brand stuck in limbo, too expensive to rely solely on gas and diesel, but too late to lead in electric. And behind that hesitation was a deeper issue. Stellantis itself was under growing financial strain. Stellantis may be one of the world's largest automakers, but size doesn't guarantee stability. Since its formation through the merger of Fiat Chrysler and PSA Group, the company has carried heavy structural challenges. Debt levels remained elevated, integration costs mounted, and global operations stretched leadership focus thin. Under CEO Carlos Tavares, Stellantis adopted a ruthless efficiency model. Plants were scrutinized, spending was slashed. Every brand was expected to justify its existence through margins alone. This approach delivered short-term profitability, but it also created long-term vulnerability, especially for capital-intensive brands like Ram. Instead of investing aggressively to future-proof Ram, Stellantis appeared to tighten the tap. Development slowed, product cycles lengthened, EV timelines slipped. From the outside, Ram was still alive. Internally, it felt increasingly constrained. This is what some analysts refer to as a soft wind-down, not an official shutdown, but a gradual reduction of support until a brand weakens on its own. It's a strategy that avoids public backlash but carries enormous risk. Dealers lose confidence, suppliers hesitate to commit, buyers sense uncertainty, and once that spiral begins, recovery becomes exponentially harder. What makes this moment especially concerning is that Ram isn't alone. Other Stellantis brands have followed similar trajectories: reduced investment, shrinking lineups, and fading relevance. Ram's situation doesn't look like an isolated stumble. It looks like part of a pattern, and when patterns emerge across multiple brands, the question stops being what's happening to Ram and becomes what Stellantis is willing to sacrifice next. By the time concerns around Ram became impossible to ignore, a troubling realization had already taken shape inside the industry. Ram's struggles weren't unique. They fit a broader pattern, unfolding across Stellantis' North American portfolio, one defined by shrinking investment, stalled innovation, and gradual retreat. Chrysler offers the clearest example. Once a cornerstone of American automotive identity, it has been reduced to a single aging model with no clear replacement strategy in sight. Announcements about future electrification exist mostly as concepts, not production timelines. Dodge, meanwhile, has been pushed into a risky rebrand centered on electrified muscle, an experiment that alienated traditional buyers while failing to fully win over new ones. Fiat has all but disappeared from the US conversation entirely. These outcomes weren't the result of sudden failures. They unfolded slowly, following a familiar sequence: reduced development budgets, fewer product updates, delayed launches, and eventually declining relevance. By the time sales numbers reflected the damage, consumer perception had already shifted. When viewed through that lens, Ram's situation looks less like an anomaly and more like the next chapter. Despite its profitability, Ram requires massive ongoing investment to remain competitive, especially in trucks, where technology, emissions compliance, and electrification costs are skyrocketing. Stellantis appears increasingly selective about where it deploys capital, and that selectivity has consequences. The uncomfortable implication is that Stellantis may be prioritizing survival over dominance. Instead of fighting to win every segment, leadership seems focused on defending margins where possible and minimizing exposure elsewhere. In that strategy, even strong brands can become expendable if their future costs outweigh short-term returns. And that brings us to the question, now circulating among dealers and analysts alike: if Ram hasn't been officially shut down, is it being quietly phased out instead? In modern automotive history, brands don't always disappear with a dramatic announcement. More often, they fade through a process insiders call soft collapse. No press release, no farewell campaign, just a slow erosion of relevance driven by neglect. That theory is increasingly being applied to Ram. There's no public declaration of abandonment, but the signals are subtle and consistent. Investment appears cautious. Product refresh cycles feel stretched. EV promises remain unfulfilled. Dealer confidence has begun to waver. None of these alone confirm a deliberate exit. Together, they paint an unsettling picture. Soft collapse works by starving a brand of momentum. Without bold new products, competitors gain ground. Without clear long-term commitments, suppliers hedge their bets. Without strong messaging, consumers hesitate. Eventually, the brand's decline appears organic, allowing the parent company to claim market forces, not strategy, were responsible. For Stellantis, this approach offers insulation from backlash. Closing a beloved American truck brand outright would ignite political, labor, and consumer fury. Allowing it to weaken gradually avoids headlines while achieving a similar result: reduced exposure and fewer obligations. But the cost is enormous. Trucks are about trust. Buyers commit to brands they believe will support them for decades. Once uncertainty sets in, loyalty evaporates quickly. Even rumors of decline can become self-fulfilling, pushing buyers toward competitors that feel safer. And if Ram truly enters that spiral, the consequences won't stop with one brand. They'll ripple across the entire truck market, reshaping who dominates America's most profitable segment. If Ram were to lose its position as a major player, the impact would extend far beyond Stellantis. The American truck market is one of the most fiercely competitive and profitable industries in the world. Removing one of its key pillars would immediately alter the balance of power. Ford would be the most obvious beneficiary. Already dominant, it would absorb displaced Ram buyers, particularly those hesitant about electrification but seeking long-term stability. GM would follow closely, reinforcing Chevrolet and GMC's hold on fleet and commercial customers. Meanwhile, newer entrants like Tesla and Rivian would gain something even more valuable than sales: legitimacy. Fewer legacy competitors make it easier for disruptors to establish permanence. Suppliers would feel the shock as well. Many manufacturers rely on high-volume truck contracts to sustain operations. Losing Ram would force painful consolidation, particularly among smaller suppliers with limited diversification. Labor implications would follow, especially in regions tied closely to Stellantis production. There's also a symbolic cost. Ram represents a distinctly American vision of trucks, one rooted in durability, work ethic, and identity. Its decline would signal a broader shift in how legacy automakers approach the US market, potentially accelerating a move toward fewer brands and narrower portfolios. In that sense, Ram's fate isn't just about one company. It's a stress test for the entire industry, and as the pressure builds, all eyes are turning back to Stellantis, waiting to see whether this story ends in revival, retreat, or something far more permanent. Despite the rumors circulating online and the dramatic headlines that suggest otherwise, Ram has not officially disappeared. Its factories haven't gone dark. Its trucks are still being built, sold, and driven across American roads every day. But focusing only on whether Ram is technically alive misses the more important question: what kind of future is being built for the brand right now? What this story reveals is something far more unsettling than a sudden shutdown. It shows how even powerful, profitable brands can be weakened quietly through delayed investments, rising prices, and shifting corporate priorities. Ram didn't lose relevance because Americans stopped wanting trucks. It became vulnerable because the environment around it changed faster than the strategy guiding it. Pricing decisions strained loyalty. EV delays eroded confidence. Cost-cutting created hesitation where bold direction was needed most. For Stellantis, the stakes couldn't be higher. Ram has long been a cornerstone of its North American success, both financially and symbolically. Allowing that cornerstone to crack even slowly puts enormous pressure on the rest of the portfolio. Investors are watching, dealers are watching, and consumers, perhaps most importantly, are watching for signs of commitment or retreat. The next few decisions Stellantis makes will define whether Ram stabilizes or continues drifting into uncertainty. Aggressive reinvestment, clear electrification timelines, and renewed trust with buyers could still reverse course. But hesitation carries a cost, and in today's auto industry, momentum is everything. Ram's story serves as a broader warning. Legacy alone no longer protects brands. Loyalty must be earned continuously, and adaptation is no longer optional. Some companies collapse loudly, others fade quietly, and right now Ram is standing at that crossroads, still present, still powerful, but facing a future that feels far less certain than it once did. Whether this becomes a story of recovery or a case study in slow decline will depend on what happens next, and the industry is paying very close attention. Once again, thanks for watching this video. If you got something out of this, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. And hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Agree, disagree, or something in between. I'd love to hear it.